Assalamu alaikum. Hello everyone. I hope you are doing very great and very fine. So today we will talk about direct and indirect speech or reported speech. So let's start. If you look at this picture, what do you see? So here we have two people. We have a girl and a boy, Jessica and Jeremy. So they are newly married. So these two people are talking about the ring up there. So can you imagine the dialogue between these two people? What might be the dialogue? So this is the dialogue. Jeremy, I love the wedding ring. It looks great on your finger. Jessica, it is wonderful. Okay, nice. So now, the question is, what do we call the sentences between these inverted commas? What do we call these? Okay, what do we call the sentences? It is wonderful and I love the wedding ring. It looks great on your finger. So we call this speech. Okay, so it is speech. So the question now is, this speech, is it direct or indirect? So it is a direct speech. Why, in your opinion, we call it direct speech? We call it direct speech because it is directly said by, Jessica and Jeremy. That's why we call it direct speech. It is directly said by Jessica and Jeremy. Okay, good. Well, if you look at this woman down here, what is she doing? Yes, she is listening to what Jessica and Jeremy is saying. She is listening to the speech of Jessica and Jeremy. Now, in your opinion, what this woman will do? What is she going to do after she listens to the speech? Yeah, she's going to, she will report the speech. Okay, so when we say report, she will go and tell somebody else. The speech of Jessica and Jeremy. So we call this reporting the speech or the speech. Good. Well, this is the speech or the direct speech of Jeremy and Jessica. Now, if you look at the one down here, the question now is, how is she going to report the speech? Okay, if we start with Jeremy said that he loved the wedding ring on her finger and that it looked great. The speech of the Jessica. So she will say, Jessica said that it was wonderful. So this is how she reported the speech. Okay, great. Now the question, is, so we call this direct or indirect or reported speech, right? The question is, why do we call it indirect or reported speech? Simply because it is said by another person. This woman goes and tells somebody else and reports the speech to somebody. يعني مشات وعاودت شي واحد. داكشي علاش سميناه reported speech or indirect speech. Okay, good. Now, if you look at direct and indirect speech, okay? So if you look at the speech of Jeremy and Jessica and the speech of the woman after she reported the speech, is it the same? Of course, no, it's not the same. So if you have a look, we have some changes today, and now some changes when the woman reported the speech يعني كاينين changes. So these are the changes from direct to indirect speech. The first change is I. Direct speech I. Of the indirect speech عندنا he. The second is your. If you look at your indirect speech, becomes her in indirect speech. The next is love. If you look at love, now the question is, what is the tense of love? Yes, it's in the simple present, and in indirect speech it becomes loved, simple past. The same with look, it's in the simple present, in the indirect speech. In reported speech it becomes looked. The same with the is. Okay, in direct speech becomes was in indirect speech. Great. So these are the changes. Okay, nice. So, example I, your, he, and her. What do we call these? We call these pronouns. Okay, good. And love, looked, and is. So the tense, simple present to simple past. So we call this tense. Okay, change of tense. So these are the changes. We have the change of pronoun. I becomes he, your becomes her. The change of tense, simple present, love becomes simple past, loved in the indirect speech. And we have also the change of time and the place. So we will see the change of time and place later. Okay, nice. Great. Now, in this lesson, we will start by studying how to report statement. Okay, nice. So now let's see the changes of tense when reporting a sentence from direct to indirect or reported speech. So in the simple present, it becomes a very good past simple. For example, I love the wedding ring, he said. Reported speech, he said that he loved. So simple present becomes simple past. Okay, good. The eventual present continuous. In direct speech, if we have the present continuous, it becomes the past continuous. For example, I am coming, she said. In the past continuous, she said that she was coming. In the past simple, actually past perfect. For example, Jack broke his leg yesterday. He said that Jack had broken. Past simple, past perfect, had broken his leg the day before. In present perfect, yes, past perfect. Example, I haven't seen the film yet. In the reported speech, he said that he hadn't seen the film yet. In past continuous, it becomes past perfect continuous. Example, she was trying to be humorous. Reported speech, he said that he had been trying to be humorous. Okay, good. The future, well, it becomes would. Reported speech. For example, I will win this game. He told me. He told me that he would win that game. Okay, good. Be going to becomes was or were going to. Example, I am going to visit my grandmother. In the reported speech, she said that she was going to visit her grandmother. So these are the changes of tense. Okay, good. Now we move to modals. For example, if we have can, it becomes could. I can swim like a fish, he said. He said that he could. So can becomes could. He could swim like a fish. دابا إلى عندنا may. Reported for direct speech. In direct speech it becomes might. إلى عندنا must becomes had to. إلى عندنا should غتولي should. have to غتولي had to. إلى عندنا should, could, might and had to, so no change. غتبقى the same. Okay, good. Nice. Let's see this example. For example, in Direct speech, I must do my homework, he said. Indirect speech, he said that yes, he had to do his homework. So must becomes had to. Number 2, I can't come, he stated. We change it to reported speech. It becomes he stated that he couldn't come. Okay, can't becomes couldn't. Number 3, I have to study hard, he said. Reported speech, he said that he had to study hard. And he had to becomes had to. This is for the changes of models. Good. Now we move to pronouns changes. And I becomes he or she. And now my becomes his or her. And now we becomes they. And now our becomes their. And now you, what will be I or we for reported speech. And now me for reported speech, what will be him or her. Great. This is for pronouns changes. Now we move to time and place changes. In some expression of time, some expression of place, for example. And now for direct speech, it becomes then for the indirect speech. This becomes that, and now these becomes those, and not tonight. It will be that night. And now next week, that will be the following week. And now last year, it will be the year before or the previous year. And now here, it will be there today. It will be that day. Yesterday, the day before. Tomorrow, it will be the next day ago. It will be before. So these are the changes of time and place. Example, I will visit you tomorrow. Example, not tomorrow. Expression of time. Reported direct speech. For reported speech, he said that he would visit me the next day. So tomorrow becomes the next day. Good. So these are the changes of time and place. Nice. Great. So now we move to this exercise. Now report the following statement. So I will post the exercise. راح نحط لكم exercise في الجروب ومن بعد نديروه ونصحوه. Okay. So thank you. So this is the first part, reporting statement. In the next lesson, نشوفوا how to report question. Have a nice day.